It is deeply irresponsible for elected officials to politicize an active investigation.
If I don't turn around and wait for them or follow their unconstitutional command, does that mean they're gonna shoot me? That's the interpretation.
Now at 6, we're continuing to hear more reaction from local lawmakers after 2 people who were confirmed to have ties to a Venezuelan transnational gang were shot by Border Patrol agents last week. We'll have more from both sides of the aisle coming up in a live report. And a federal judge rules President Trump overstepped his authority after his issue of order to tighten voting requirements. What voters in Oregon and Washington need to know before turning in their next ballot. And if you wake up this morning, we're asking the question. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that so it's not so grim. As you wake up this morning, we're asking the question, does a lack of sleep make you eat more? We have the answer coming up in just a few minutes. As your news at Sunrise, it starts right now. We're just going to start off this newscast as grim as possible. We hope you wake up this morning, and we hope you turn on KGW to watch the newscast. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis are here. Good morning.
Yeah, but yes, Jenna, I would say when I'm really exhausted during the day, I will tend to want
eat a lot.
Food.
Yeah.
Not when I sleep like a baby. I really do. You could.
A baby that snores and sounds like a wolf. Right.
That's me. Yeah. How did you?
And cries
you
all
heard? Okay. Here's our Snookwiz Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. Partly cloudy skies, all dry here, 53 degrees. You have thicker cloud cover up into Astoria, where we have had some light rain reported up that direction. Other than that, we are dry. Here's Salem, great visibility. Partly cloudy skies reported, 39 degrees. That's actually one of the cooler numbers. Here you can see maybe some breaks in the cloudiness. That's Vancouver, the Springs at the waterfront camera. East-southeast winds at 8 and 42 degrees. To the bus stop we go, all dry today. In fact, just put the raincoat in the back of the closet for the time being. It could be more than a week before you need it. 40 out the door, 50 at noon, light winds with partly sunny skies, and about 53 when the kids get out of school. How about that? Here's Chris.
All right, as you get out the door this morning at 6:02 now on a Monday morning. There's a quick look at the drive over on the west side. Highway 217 and 99W zipping right along. I-5 near the Interstate Bridge also rolling along. So far, the freeway drive looks just great. We're rolling along at a speed limit clip to get you across the Columbia River, 11 minutes from Padden Parkway to I-84. That is the drive, of course, over the Glen Jackson Bridge and other drive times. Again, still rolling along at a speed limit clip. No major freeway trouble just yet, China.
Thank you, Chris. So we start this hour of Sunrise with ongoing follow after federal agents shot 2 people in Portland last Thursday. Happened during a traffic stop in Northeast Portland. On Friday, Portland police confirmed the Department of Homeland Security's claims that the 2 shot have ties to a Venezuelan transnational gang. Now, so far, we haven't seen any video of the shooting or what led up to it, but KGW has obtained video from a neighbor showing medics addressing one of the shooting victims on a sidewalk inside the apartment complex. Portland Police Chief Bob Day says that the 2 shot are stable and are in custody of federal law enforcement. And since the shooting, both Republican and Democrat state leaders have been reacting to this shooting. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from downtown Portland. So Thomas, what have they been saying?
Yeah, well, China, Democratic Attorney General Dan Rayfield says he has concerns after this shooting and says that it heightens the need for transparency and accountability. We spoke to Republican lawmakers about this in Salem yesterday. They'd like to see the rhetoric turned down when it comes to federal law enforcement, adding they believe Democratic leadership is doing more harm than good with their reactions.
What Oregonians saw over the last 72 hours was not restraint. They saw immediate conclusions, inflammatory rhetoric, and public statements made before all the facts were known.
Since the shooting, Portland police have confirmed federal agents were attempting to arrest 2 people with ties to a Venezuelan gang. Meanwhile, Democratic Representative Maxine Dexter was in Portland on Saturday and told constituents she wants to take action against the Department of Homeland Security and draft articles of impeachment against DHS Secretary Kristi Noem.
We also are trying to form a coalition of congressional members who are willing to withhold appropriations for the Department of Homeland Security.
Still, Republican leaders we spoke with say that they would like to see elected leaders on both sides of the aisle pause and take in all the facts before rushing to a reaction. China?
All right, Thomas Schultz reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Thomas. In Salem, several groups came together to have those who have been affected by the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. On Sunday, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation hosted a benefit concert at a silent auction. Organizers tell us that several people have reached out to want to help financially families who may have a loved one detained or deported recently, as well as businesses who have lost income because they say that their customers are staying home out of fear.
There might be no money coming into a family if your main breadwinner just was whisked off to a detention center. So there's a family left wondering what to do. And if they need legal help, they might have legal fees on top of that.
And we're hearing from attorneys with Innovation Law Lab after they asked a federal court to stop ICE agents from making arrests in Oregon without a warrant. So since October, attorneys say ICE has launched operations across the state, leading to an almost 8,000% spike in immigration arrests since 2024. Immigration attorneys say ICE is targeting areas with high Latino populations and arresting people without warrants.
The law requires ICE to have probable cause before detaining someone and taking away their liberty. And in the context of the statute, that also requires a warrant. That's an appropriate check on the power that they're exercising to take people's liberty. And we're seeing this really rampantly, especially with the increased enforcement activity since October.
Among the plaintiffs is Victor Cruz, who lives in Hillsborough. ICE agents arrested him despite having a work authorization and pending visa. His family says that he was arrested in case of mistaken identity, as federal agents were looking for another man by the same name who did have a criminal history. The Pacific County Sheriff's Office says that they have arrested the fire chief of Ilwaco following an investigation into sex crimes. Deputies conducted a search warrant Friday at the home of Ocean Park north of Ilwaco following reports of child molestation and rape. After the search, deputies arrested Jeffrey Archer. He's expected to make his first court appearance today. Later this morning at 9:30, the man accused of robbing and stabbing a 77-year-old at a Portland Safeway is set to be indicted. Police say 51-year-old Christopher Woods right there robbed and stabbed the man on New Year's Day in a restroom of the Safeway near Southeast Powell and 122nd and then took off. He was tracked down by police and arrested about 90 minutes later. The victim was taken to the hospital for serious injuries but survived. Woods faces first-degree assault and robbery charges. This all comes after he was convicted of another stabbing back in May of 2017. In that incident, he injured a woman on a Max platform near Holiday Park in Northeast Portland. Well, a trial gets underway today for the woman whose dogs attacked and killed a 6-year-old boy. This happened in a Northeast Portland home in December of 2023. The boy's grandmother is friends with Coco Miller, who helped take the child to school every morning. One of those mornings, Miller's 2 dogs attacked the boy. Officers say that Miller attempted to stop the attack and was injured. She's charged with 4 felony counts, including criminally negligent homicide. All right, we have a health alert for a South Salem neighborhood. There's a boil water order in place due to a loss of water pressure. So this is a map right here of the area under notice. This is off of Davis Road South and Skyline Road. The city says the power outage triggered a shutdown at the area water pump station. They say that they should get the test results back today. But in the meantime, boil tap water for at least a minute before drinking it or using it for food. A brand new library is now open on Northwest Petty Grove Street in Northwest Portland. Dozens of families attended the grand opening over the weekend. The new library is more than twice the size of the library it's replacing, which was on Thurman Street a few blocks away. We spoke to one dad who visited the library with his daughter. Here was his first impression.
Oh, it's awesome. Just the structure and the fact that they used a lot of reclaimed materials and like the stuff they put together for kids. I mean, it's just, you can tell they put a lot of work into it and a lot of heart.
Inside the library is a large selection of books for kids and plenty of computers for those looking to access the internet. All right, your time now is 6:09. Headed to Rod Hill for a look at your drier forecast.
Yeah, incredibly dry run. I mean, not only dry all of this week, not only meaning this weekend too, could be dry into next week. Cloud flow, this is the one that gave us some thin cloudiness on Saturday, more in the way of thick cloud cover yesterday. PDX did report yesterday overnight and early morning 0.01 inches of precip, but for the most part, the rain has been up to our north, and that continues to be the case today. And All of this is going to continue to push more and more to the north, which gradually will get us into more of a partly sunny into more of a mostly sunny pattern that will hold the majority of this week. You can see the cloudiness kind of spilling across our states, mostly thin, mid to high level stuff. Good visibility down low and not that cold this morning. Wells Fargo camera setting at 41 degrees. With the dry forecast, no travel concerns today, all dry, generally above freezing out in the gorge this morning. Cascade passes are clean and dry as well. Here's a look at partly cloudy skies over the West Hills from the Providence Park camera. 43 is the temperature, winds are calm. 43 also out in Forest Grove this morning. Nobody's near freezing, 39 in Oregon City, 38 out in Troutdale. It's a light east wind. Albany's 38 degrees, and who else we got? How about Estacada? Good morning, 38 is your temperature. Weather map this afternoon, all dry, generally partly to mostly sunny skies. Cloudiness might hold up here around Astoria, Kelso. You'll be on the southern edge of the cloud shield that's slowly moving up to the north. 57 in Tillamook, 50s up and down I-5. Bend today up to 56. Here's the 7-day forecast. Again, no rain chances here. Wednesday, models say is the best chance to have valley fog that would be slow to lift. If that's the case, getting to 50 could be a struggle. Otherwise, this is mostly dry with highs reaching 50, 53 today.